So I'm going to be talking about narcissists and growing up with them and how, in my experience, I have dealt with family members being narcissists. For me, I've had both sides of my family be narcissists, so it was very challenging for me, and I thought that chaos was normal, and seeing relationships that were just chaotic, I thought that was just normal, and I thought that was what healthy love looks like, and it's not, that I have learned. So before I start, I kind of want to explain to people that don't know what a narcissist is. So a narcissist is a pattern of behavior where someone consistently needs control, admiration, attention, and lacks empathy for others. And that right there is the biggest part of a narcissist, is that they lack empathy. And it's very important to understand that not everyone who is selfish is a narcissist, but it's the repeated patterns that are important here, and we want to make sure we understand. Because for my experience, on one side of my family, they're very selfish and very all about them, and it's kind of scary because narcissists are very manipulative, and I think that's a really important part to obviously explain as well. Is narcissists are very manipulative, so you'll think that they understand you and they can relate to you and connect to you, but in realization it's just a manipulative tactic in order to use and abuse your information in whichever way that will benefit them, and that is very scary. And it's very scary because it is family. And so for me, having that side, one side of my family be like that, and then the other side was more like there was empathy, but that parental figure needed more like attention and needed admiration, and they needed a constant control over things, and if things didn't go a certain way, and it was very underlining, so it's even scarier when it's underlining things that are going on and not more in your face, and that is the scariest thing. So I had one parent be like that and one parent be like the other, so it's very difficult for me to understand growing up, very, very difficult for me to understand what healthy is. And my fear ever since I was little is I knew something wasn't right. I just, because I was so quiet, um, because I just knew something wasn't right, and I knew that I didn't want to treat people that the way they treated, and it all felt very fake, and I didn't want to ever become a narcissist, and I didn't ever want to become fake, and so it was very many layers, and that's why I'm so hard on myself, and it makes me understand now that that's why I'm so hard with trusting people and letting people in and being vulnerable, because when it comes to emotions as well, like, it's very confusing because you want to let somebody in really, really bad. Like, my heart is saying, let this person in, they're a good person. Like, my intuition is saying, like, let them in, they're a good person. And my heart, they're a good person. And my brain's like, no, like, this happened. And it's like very confusing because it, in a way, blurs your realization of who's a good person, who's a healthy person, who's doing it to just pretend. And it makes you just question so much. It is such a fear of mine still to this day. I think like that little voice inside my head is still saying, we don't want to end up like this, we don't want to. And then sometimes I'll catch myself in certain behaviors that I knew as a little child I was like, I didn't want to do or didn't want to treat someone like that. So I'll catch myself now and I'll be like, oh, that's not what we want to do. That's not, remember, that's not how we want to treat people. That's not how we want to say this, or that's not how we want to show this. So I think if you can catch yourself and you're practicing and have so much empathy for other people, you broke it. You know what I mean? For me personally, that's how I feel. I feel that since I have so much empathy and I am trying to catch myself and work on myself and get it instilled into my brain and unwire everything I was told, it allows me to breathe, and it allows me to say, okay, you broke it. You're not going to become a narcissist. If you just continue and do what you're doing, you won't become one. And dealing with narcissists does so much to us that have dealt with them. It affects the person so much. Like, it affects your self-esteem. You think your self-worth is lower, and you get so much anxiety, and you start people pleasing, you have trust issues, you feel guilty for having boundaries, and you feel responsible for everyone's emotion. And it's exhausting. Let me tell you that. Exhausting. So the thing that has helped me with all of this, and it took me so long to understand. It took me from maybe years to realize how to overcome this, and what tools helped me was setting boundaries, limiting access to what that these family members have access to. I stopped explaining myself, and that one's a big one. I think a lot of people need to do more, is stop over explaining yourself. If these people are narcissists, they're always going to manipulate the situation to make it seem that you're in the fault. Why am I going to keep explaining myself if that's just the whole conversation? We're going in circles, you know? So there's no need to explain yourself. You know the truth, you know what happened. There's no need for you to continuously repeat yourself. Another thing that's helped me is protecting my peace. I think people don't, it's hard because it's family member, you know? But for me, I was able to pull back and just observe more, and that really helps me in protecting my peace, because I realize what will make, and I go into things now in these conversations with these family members thinking, what will this conversation bring me? How will I feel after this conversation? Will I feel drained, or will I feel uplifted or supported or not? If it's, and once I know which side I will feel, I'll go and have that conversation. If I feel drained, I'm not going to go have that conversation with this person. I'm going to go give it to somebody else. You know what I mean? So I think that one's really good. And the big thing too is knowing that healthy love is not chaotic at all. And that's what I thought it was, because my family was so chaotic. And it's so crazy to think that I got both sides of the family that are like that. So that's all I saw was just chaotic, and just thought that's what it was supposed to be. And to be honest, I haven't really seen a healthy relationship. So me being in one now, it's very hard, and I'm grateful for it because it's teaching me so much. And my family has taught me so much of things I don't want. So it helps me in a way, but I'm still working on it. I think I will always still work on it. And I just hope that it will allow me to become, more vulnerable, more, like I just want to become a decent human being, and I don't ever want to become a narcissist. And I know it can be some people's fears as well. So I just hope some of what I'm saying has helped in whichever way it did. And I just want you to realize that you matter more than if you're in a relationship that is a narcissist, or you're dealing with family members that are narcissists. You matter more. So please remember that your self-worth and who you are and who you become does not depend on these people at all. And just remember that when you're catching things, when you're breaking like the generational cycles, when you're doing all these good things in order to help yourself, you already accomplished so much. And be so proud of yourself, because it is hard to work on yourself in general. And if you're doing the steps, you're taking the actions, you're putting in the work, you're doing amazing already. And just please remember, dealing with narcissists is very tricky and can be very complicated. So if you ever need someone, please reach out. to me in the comments or the DMs. I'm really here for you because I know how tricky and complicated it can be, and I don't want you to feel alone because you're not.